Hello everyone, this is Starman and welcome to the first chapter of my playthrough of Quest for Glory 2 Trial by Fire, the VGA Special Edition. Now, Quest for Glory 2 is a very special game to me. It was the first game in the Quest for Glory series I played, but this is not the game I played many years ago. Because another reason why Quest for Glory 2 is notable is that it was the last game that Sierra Online made using their original AGDInteractive engine before they started using a much more complex engine which allowed for 256 colors. And I know that sounds like nothing to kids today, but it was a pretty big leap forward for graphics technology for PC gamers back in the 90s. And they never got around to remaking this one, Sierra, so this other company, AGDInteractive, they made a VGA adaptation of the second Quest for Glory game to make it more in line with the first and third games in the series, point and click rather than text-based interaction. Of course, you do still get the text-based option in this, as we'll see in a moment, but yeah, we got this lovely little disclaimer here, and you can download this game for free from the AGDInteractive website and get the original Quest for Glory 2 as part of the Quest for Glory collection on Steam and Good Old Games and all the websites like that, and I highly recommend you do so. But this is going to be a bit of an adventure for me. I mean, more than this is an adventure being an adventure game, because I have not, until now, played through this particular game. And it turns out they added a lot of Easter eggs into this to give the old bees like me a reason to play it, other than, well, you're getting to play a new Quest for Glory game, basically. So it's the same setting, but the fighting controls are much improved. If you like intense combat, which me being the thief type, I typically don't. But I'm going to show you a little bit of everything in this, including some Easter eggs that I discovered reading through a list, trying to figure out exactly how much it changed. So with no further ado, let's get into it and watch the opening movies. And here we have a very nice adaptation of the classic introduction screen. And we can click on the objects here. Like if you click on the candle, it'll say, "Is this your trial by fire?" Nah, too small. This belongs to Nimblejack. Even in early word processing, they use scrolling techniques. An old-fashioned word processor. Coco the Clown lived here many years ago. Out of the inkwell comes Coco the Clown. Alright, so go ahead and do the introduction. And there is a very, very rough adaptation of the classic Sierra Mountain logo. Yeah, the dialogue pictures are a new addition to this game, whereas the VGA remake of Quest for Glory and Quest for Glory 3, 4, and so on gave you a close-up portrait of the person you were talking to. Quest for Glory 2 did not, so they had to make some new character portraits to make it better fit the style. You didn't just see that. And even if you did, it's completely and totally legal for the sake of parody. You no gonna regret this, boss. Guaranteed the best in town or you no get your money back. How about the nice... Wait! What is that up there? It's a bird, it's a plane! Well, he's wearing a red cape, but he's no Superman. No, that costume just will not do. Now you look like a hero Shapier style. And you'll note the For Rent sign in the background there. So, who the heck are those characters and what's going on? Well, we'll have to start the game to find that out. And one of the nice things about the Quest for Glory games is that you are given the option to import your character between games. Unfortunately, I can't import the character I saved after my playthrough of the first Quest for Glory VGA remake, which if you have not seen the video of that yet, you might want to watch that one first since it will explain a few things. But anyway, I can't import it because it turns out that A, there is a bug that causes the good old games version of the import files not to work too well with the VGA remake. Apparently it's also hit and miss with the second Quest for Glory game that's part of the good old games pack. And there are a couple of save game files out there online if you know where to look. And there are also some editors which allow you to create a save game file. Unfortunately, they aren't very good for thief characters, because while it will let you create a character with max stats and a certain amount of money and potions and other such goods that are very useful for the wizard and the fighter, it will not let you start with a thieves toolkit, which is kind of essential to doing all of the thieves storyline. It won't even give you a basic lockpick, which is what you start with at the start of the first game. And there are some editors that will let you try and play around with it, but none of them, again, will give you Thieves Toolkit. And even the save games I found, which let you start with a Thieves Toolkit, they don't give you a decent amount of stats. So I've decided to compromise a little bit, and I am going to be importing one of the thief characters that I found elsewhere, because this one will allow us to start with all of our thief stats maxed out: strength, intelligence, agility, vitality, luck, weapon use, dodge, stealth, pick locks, throwing, and climbing. And it will allow us to start with a good deal of money and most of the thief equipment that we need. We won't have the Thieves Toolkit, but we will have a lockpick, which is all we're going to need, and we won't have the Thieves Guild license either, but the Thieves Guild license is just there for flair. And I'm going to put all my points into luck, because luck is probably the single hardest thing to level up if you're a thief, with the exception of climbing, but the good news is climbing is not something we're going to need to invest a lot in. And in fact, up until Quest for Glory 4, climbing is not really going to figure into anything we do. So we can go ahead and start. And it will helpfully tell us that Quest for Glory offers multiple conversation and alleyway systems for the player. Please select your preferences before starting. So we can stick with the pure point and click interface. We can go with the classic parser interface. Or we can go with a combo that will mostly do point and click, but will allow us the option to type things in. And we're going to go with this one simply because having the ability to type in certain conversation options will unlock some Easter eggs, including one very helpful one that is very useful at the beginning of the game. And then the alleyway layout, well, you can start with Classic or Simplified. Classic gives you the original huge maze that is the streets of Shapier. Simplified will take out a lot of the locations that you don't really need to walk through. I am going to stick with Classic because I fully intend to give you the classic Quest for Glory 2 experience as much as possible, but also because if you do Simplified, there's a lot of Easter eggs you can't access. So this should give us the greatest number of options, and we start off in the newly built Kata's Tale Inn with our friends Abdullah the merchant and Shamin and Shima, the Kata who ran the inn in the first Quest for Glory game, and have now taken us to the south where they are in need of a hero. Anyway, Abdullah will yammer on a bit, and his portrait will not stop talking, oddly enough, but is it not amazing how quickly we have set up this inn? The Kata's Tale is already the center of Shapir's entertainment. Where else can you watch Shima dance? You know you always have a place to stay and fine food to eat in Shapier. Shamin, Shima, and I cannot thank you for helping us recover our stolen treasure. It is good to be back home, even though I have had troubling news. My old friend Ara Saudin, the Emir of Razir, is missing. He was a good man, but not as wise as I. Ah, but you have not even seen our beautiful Shapier, and already I speak of problems. You need to go out to explore and discover why this is indeed a land of enchantment. Okay, and this being the point-and-click interface, we have the walk icon, eye for looking at things, the hand for touching things, the mouth for talking to things. Magic is blacked out because we do not have magic. We have special, which, yeah, get to your feet first, hero, and we also have inventory. And with the inventory, well, I was mistaken. I thought we did not get the Thieves Guild license. We do, in fact, get the Thieves Guild license with this save game. Your Thieves Guild license authorizes you to do business with thieves without getting killed by them. And the way the Chorus 2 works. We also have an Acme lockpick, suitable for most standard locks and a few squirrely ones. We also, strangely enough, have a chainmail shirt. Your chainmail armor is quite effective for protection, but it is very heavy. We also have 6 throwing daggers, 1 water skin, crucial adventuring equipment in the desert, 5 rations, and 272 gold coins from the land of Spielberg. We also have 0 golden dinars and 0 brass centimes. We will need to see the money changer in a bit. And it does tell us the weight of everything that we're carrying. Very useful. Anyway. It is your friend Abdullah whom you met in the inn at Spielberg after he was robbed by brigands. In return for his recovering his treasure and his carpet, he brought you with him to Shapier. You suspect he has gained quite a few pounds since his return. It is your good friend Shamim. You are pleased at the delicious smells and delightful ambience of the newly remodeled Kata's Tale Inn. You give it 3.5 stars. It is an oil lamp. Battery is not included or even necessary. It is a large brass bottle. What a gin it could hold. It is an oil lamp. When lit, it produces a cozy atmosphere. An exotic Arabic curtain is draped across the back wall of the dining area. Okay, well, one option that we get here, and it won't let us look at our character sheet while we're sitting, but one new option that we are going to have in this game is that we now have a communication skill, and anytime we talk to people, it improves the communication skill. It doesn't really factor into much, except that we now have the option of trying to bargain with merchants in the Grand Arabian Nights tradition. So it is very good that we try and get in the habit of greeting people, and us being a thief, we also have the option of making the thief sign. You place your thumb upon your nose with the hand held perpendicular to the face and the fingers outspread. You then wiggle your fingers while focusing your eyes on your thumb and patting your belly with the other hand. We don't show any of that here in order not to embarrass those people with tender sensibilities. Boy, did you look silly. Anyway, it's a good habit to get into greeting and saying goodbye to people once you're done talking to them. So we can go ahead and greet Abdullah. Good day, my fine friend. I trust you are finding your stay in Shapier interesting. There's always so much to see and do here. And we do get the option of trying to type things in here, but we won't take that here. Instead, we will click on Abdullah and start running through conversation. Abdullah. I am Abdullah Du is an old family name. Daily news. I have heard that Razir has become a grim and unpleasant place to be now that my good friend Aris is no longer the emir. So we can ask the rumor. I have heard that in Razir they now forbid people to speak to one another. How can one live in such a way? So it's about Shapier. The land of Shapier may be plagued with elementals and jinns, but this land will ever stand as long as there are heroes such as yourself. Now, let's ask about elementals. The elementals are some sort of magical things which could destroy us all. And we can also ask about the jinn. Jinn are magical beings, huge monstrous creatures of power capable of tearing a man limb from limb, although I have never personally experienced this. Yeah, and the end. A place to relax, to talk with friends, to eat and drink and watch entertainment. What better place to be? Food. Shima's cooking is fantastic and her tea is heavenly. Truly the kata are friends beyond measure. And let's ask. The katas make great neighbors and friends, and Shima and Shamin are the finest of katas. And we ask about the bazaar. Why, the very plazas of our city are a thriving marketplace. We can even ask about Thieves' Guild. Thieves' Guild? What need have you with thieves? There's no such guild in this fair city. Yeah, we'll see about that. Jin we've asked about. Kata we've asked about. We can ask about Shima and Shamin in particular. Like a cat, Shamin lands upon his paws wherever he goes. This inn is the oasis of culture for Shapier. Ah, the enchanting Shima. Her dance must be seen to be savored. Okay, so that covers Shapier. We can talk about the desert. The desert is full of perils for the unwary, and only brave men or fools dare go there. I used to travel through the desert often. Let you decide which one he is. Monsters. I have fought many monsters in my travels through the desert. And we ask about Razir. Razir and Shapier were sister cities, separated by the sands of a desert. Now it is said that the fountain of Razir runs no more, and that the city's soul has shriveled like a grape in the sun. We ask about the emir. Aris was the kindest of men, quick to hug you and call you brother, but I must admit he was not very brave. He was a generous and friendly man, and Razir was a place worth living. Now Aris is lost, his brother sits on the throne, and Razir stagnates. And you may note that Razir is a anagram of Sierra. And we can finally ask about Spielberg. If you had not returned our stolen carpet and treasures, I would still be sitting there, wasting away to a mere shadow of myself. And it's about the carpet. I have given the carpet to the Sultan, and in return he has made me wealthy beyond even my dreams. Treasure. There is no greater treasure than friendship. And brigands. If I had not fought off so many in the Battle of Spielberg Pass, perhaps you would not have made it through to the brigand lair, my friend. Alright, well, that's enough for Abdullah for now. So we'll say goodbye. Enjoy the sights of Shapier, O hero! And now that we can stand up, we can look at the options under the special menu, which include walk, run, sneak, sleep, character sheet, and wait. And with the character sheet, we have 5,004 experience points, 4 of those having come just from talking to Abdullah. And another important skill, actually you'll see communication is also up to 106, having done all of that talking. And we also have another new attribute on our character sheet, honor, which is not going to matter much to us as a thief, but does come into play if you are attempting to do certain other things, which I will not discuss as they really don't matter much to the thief. I might do a playthrough of that, but, well, what the heck, I'll say it quickly. You do have the option in this game of having your character become a paladin. which of course means being devoted toward honor, truth, bravery, so not something that the thief can do easily. In fact, the only way to become a thief as a paladin is to have not done any of the thief quests, which kind of defeats the point of playing a thief, but you can totally do that if that is your whim. Anyway, we will go ahead and walk over here and greet Shamin. We are most honored by your presence in our inn, Hero Spielberg. And it does give us the option of making the thief sign, but smartly, it would be best not to announce to your kind host that you are a thief. They might make you pay room and board after all. And we can ask about Shamin. Shamin, in the tongue of my kindred, means he of the lion. Daily news. Much happens in Shapier. What would you have me tell you about, hero friend? Rumor. I have heard that the armies the Sultan sent to Razir were destroyed by a great wind. Okay, Shapier. The city is but an island of beauty amidst the shifting sands and timeless mountains. Inn. This is what an inn should be, the center of all. With Shima to dance and the poet Omar to entertain, there will always be something of interest here. And we can ask about Omar. Poetry is revered in this land. The words of the poet Omar speak both to the heart and to the mind. Dance. When Shima dances, fire awaken. At least for Kata. Shima, there is none in all Shapier to compare to my beautiful and wondrous mate. Bazaar. In the plaza of the fountain and other plazas, the Kata merchants set up their shops. Merchants. Kata are fine sellers of many things, for they know the true value of wealth. And wealth? To be truly wealthy, you must learn what it is to be content. Oh, let's try. There is much of which I have no knowledge. Forgive me. Okay, so you can ask about the Kata. We are a little people and few, but like grains of sand, we will always belong to the desert. And we asked about that already, so we can go back to the desert. Sands that change colors with the time of day, the desert is dear to our people. However, it is best viewed at night. It is hard to survive the heat of the sun. Monsters. There are many creatures in the desert who would seek to harm you. Razir. That city used to be a mirror of Shapier. Now it is said that it is a foreshadow of what is to come. And foreshadow. It is not good to speak of evil, but there is much of it in Razir. And Spielberg. We journeyed to Spielberg to bring back a hero. Go ahead and say goodbye. And saying hello and goodbye does slowly boost your honor as well. There are other ways to increase it quickly, which we will look at. Anyway, we'll go ahead and walk out. You, stranger! You just in luck! I got everything you need right here. You need a map, I got a map. You need a compass, I got a compass. You need souvenirs for Shapier, friends and your relatives, I got the best of souvenirs in town. Now, he's got quite a bit of a crowd there with that guard there. We'll walk on over. You look like such a fine person, I got a deal for you. Special today only, I sell you a genuine made-in-Japan glow-in-the-dark turban, which says my father went to Shapier and all he brought me was... But maybe you gotta know, kids. Then what you want is what I got right here. A Shapier in a bottle. You shake it and you see Shapier in a sandstorm. I sell it just to you for only twice what it's worth. And yes, in case you're not getting the reference from the name, the odd character at this stand seems vaguely familiar. And you look at him specifically. This guy looks like he could play the piano, but strangely. Yes, this character is in fact Ali Chica, who is a very hastily adapted parody of Chico Marx of the Marx Brothers. And we will get to see all three of the major Marx Brothers in this game. Oh, which reminds me, it is time for me to check and make sure that we do have the Silly Clowns option on. And what does the Silly Clown option do? Well, in the first game, it didn't do much, except it did turn on or off an Easter egg where Harpo Marx might appear suddenly in the streets of Shapier as you were walking around the alleyways. And another thing that the game did, the remake did, which I should note since we have this pile up around me, is that originally you would have various passers-by wander into the streets and walk among the merchants to create the illusion that this is a very fully populated city. But strangely enough, there were no kata, walking around. So in this game, we do have random Kata citizens now walking among the various plazas. And you can see that this can cause some problems here if we stand in one place for far too long. I'm almost tempted to see how long we can keep this going, but let's go ahead and finish talking with Ali Chica. Go ahead and greet. Hey, boss, see you come here to the right place here. My name is Ali Chica, and you finding yourself at the finest souvenir stand in all of Shapier. And we can make the thief sign. Nope, sorry, boss. All out of anti-itch cream today. Maybe you should leave my stand now so I don't catch what you have. Alright, so if we talk to him. My name is Ali Chica. And daily news. You gonna ask me questions or are you gonna buy what I sell? And we'll make a living off answers. We can ask rumor. I heard there was a stranger in town who asks a lot of questions. Merchant. I sell you what you need. What more can you want? Ask about the map. How you think you're gonna find yourself with no map? I sell you one cheap, only 100 centimes. Special edition today says you are here with a bigger X. Compass. With a compass, you always know which way you're going. How many people you meet know that? I give you a compass. It only costs 100 centimes. Ask about the stand. This is the finest souvenir stand in town. I personally guarantee it. This is also the only souvenir stand in town. Ask about souvenirs. You need souvenirs, I got them. How about a pair of glow-in-the-dark socks of Shapier? This way you don't lose your feet at night. And the price of the map is 100 centimes. The price of the compass is 100 centimes. Ask about Shapier. This is a nicer town, a nicer land. Ask about the inn. You need my map to find it. Ask about the fountain. The way to the fountain, take a little road, Junub Tarak. Keep going until you get wet, then you find the fountain. And we ask about the desert. Isn't that the way you take a whipped ice cream and put a whipped cream and fudge on top? And Rosier. I understand the sightseeing business is not too good there. Well, yeah, we won't get much useful information out of Ali Chica, but we can get a map and a compass from him that will make navigating the city much easier. And speaking of navigating the city much easier, there is one other thing I must do before we go much further. And this is one of the Easter eggs that I wish the remake designers had made a little bit more accessible, because it turns out this one only works if you're in parser mode or the combo mode. Because you have to ask Shamin or Shima about the money changer. Ah, that is indeed quite a tale, my friend. Ah, of course, that is me telling him about it, because I'm using that menu, not asking him about it. So, ask Shamin about the money changer. The money changer will change the money of Spielberg for the coins of Shapier. Finding her in Shapier's maze of streets may be difficult without a map of the city. The street names may only provide you a limited means of orientation. Allow me to explain their meanings to you. Shamin spends some time making you familiar with the words that make up the names of Shapier's streets. So, yes, now that we have done this, when we walk out into the streets, we will be able to see the English translation of the Arabic names. And I sat back down thinking that that would get Shima to come out, but apparently it did not. So we will instead head out into the streets of the city. And every time we approach Ali Chica, he will have some new thing to sell us. Hey you, I got just a thing, a keychain with a real Shapier breast time on the end. Only cost you 1 dinar. Well, we're going to need to get money before we can buy the map and anything else. What's the matter? You know like a big deal when you see it? And now that we are in the streets of Shapier, we can sneak around without it being too obvious. And the one nice thing about Shapier is that there are countless opportunities to practice your lockpicking skill. You got some useful lockpicking practice, but the door has been bolted from the inside. No amount of skill will allow you to open it. And there are relatively few places where you are in danger of being caught doing this. unlike Quest for Glory 1. And you'll note that now we have the helpful little pop-up that says that we are on Janubteric, South Street. And you can ask Ali Chica for directions, but they're a little bit garbled. And this particular door, we keep walking back and forth from it as we practice on it. And just a short walk north to the plaza of the fountain and some more merchants. And just for form's sake, we'll go ahead and walk from here. And from here, the fountain water is cool and refreshing. And we can also take the time to refill our water skin. So with that accomplished, I think we'll go ahead and close this chapter out. And next time, we will continue on to the money changer. And hopefully start earning some points, because as you'll note, we are a bit short in the points department at the moment. But thank you for toughing it out with me through this introduction. I promise we'll get to some more exciting action next time. And I'll see you then.